that here in Cobblestone. Yes, NiP can play it, but G2 and Shox in particular has
Shox,
looked
my
ungodly.
God, what a tournament it's been for him. Like the same sort of form we saw at ECS, but this is coming into it now. The Grand Final has been a 5-day tournament here at StarLadder, but it all leads to this moment. We're going to kick things off at Cash. NiP versus G2. And it will be G2 starting on the CT side. NiP, 4 sets of armor, Freiberg with a smoke and flashbang. No fast B play coming in, which has been pretty traditional so far, and it kicks off straight away. Scream fighting towards middle, and Freiberg being boosted up with Exist as well.
5 players in middle
What?
from G2. 5
Okay.
players on the other side of the
tell.
garage from NiP, and this is exactly what they did a year ago against them at StarLadder. They double boosted up early on. They caught NiP trying to execute. And it could be a problem again.
Oh.
Remember, that was the Alu iteration, not Michaelele, but it is going to be Body going in for 1 and down as with RPK, and NiP explodes over the drop zone. Exist with 2, Exist with 3. Shox falls and Scream's gone. NiP, they strike first.
You can tell it's a grand final, Matthew. The rulebook has been thrown out the window. 5 CTs towards middle. You can see NiP were almost expecting that. It was a weird boost situation for the CTs. You see them jumping up, not quite able to make it up, and then the head was spotted, and all hell broke loose there. Exciting way to kick things off, and NiP with a great start getting into the first map here. The pistol has been gathered, and we'll see whether they can hold on as the force buy has come in from the CTs.
Get Right's going to bounce the the smoke immediately out in front of the doorway, but watch RPK pushing up. Molotov's gone, and he's stuck out here now. So they got to bait him in or hope that NiP get careless. They won't. Get Right already sees it with the jump. 2 HP, though. So Get Right's job, rather aggressively, has gone away in this round, but it will be still his team with the man advantage. As Exist sprays through mid, they're going to slow things down off this. They've got that kill. They fanned out the defense. 2 on either side. No one in middle. NiP can look to try and control that, to try and take it away from them with what is a single rifle and 4 SMGs. And Shox has a Zeus.
Of course he's got a Zeus. That's all we require for the big plays in the grand final.
Scream. He's going to look back the other direction, leave Body alone on that B site. But again, NiP, they've got mid open. They've still got 53 seconds. It seems like forever since that first kill came in. It was so fast from Get Right, and just now they'll start to probe things out.
Well, at this point, they've got the man advantage. You can see Get Right's been down to 2 HP, but still the mid control comes in. It should be a pretty easy affair for them to see the complete bomb site is open towards B here. So, misfire Molotov, not going to matter too much. It's fine. If there were CTs there, could have get a bit of hairy there, but the rest of G2 are stacked towards A. Maybe save the armor at this point. Once the bomb's planted, there's not really much chance of doing anything with this.
Yeah, and the Zeus. Why not, Shox? You can keep that as well. But, I mean, yeah, as soon as the Molotovs fumbled, they checked the corner. I have to say, I like that NiP so far. You kind of get a feeling for the mentality early on in these games and just sort of the discipline that they want early on in these games. And they're checking every corner. They're not walking in carelessly. This is looking all right so far from NiP. They look like they want this. They're definitely playing assertively so far.
I was kind of scared to go into this one. CSGO hasn't delivered the best grand finals historically, but this lineup, I wasn't sure of NiP with the standard as well. G2 in incredible form. I thought this would be a pretty lackluster game, but this kicking it off like this sort of fashion. 2-0 for NiP, winning the pistol on their map. I think we could be in for a bit of a barn burner. And it's going to be 5 players staying alive for NiP in the second round here. G2, like I said, saving the head armor. It makes sense. They've got Deagles to go with them as well. Body has been very proficient with the Desert Eagle this tournament. Doesn't find anything towards the end there. But 2-0 for NiP, but head armor saved. Still not out of the woods just yet.
Look inside the booth on the G2 side. CT side, as you said, save the armor, carry it over. You can't afford to buy anything additional to carry into round 3 if you want to have good utility on round 4, first gun rounds.
Still with the Zeus.
And then well, exactly that. Okay, let's see. Come on, Rushley. And he obviously went down, so he rebought that. He's trying to play an angle with it. I imagine if we look quickly at the map, he's going to be out sword. Okay, he's not actually at the door. He's actually behind forklift right now. So either way, Get Right, nearly caught this time. Body will find the opening kill. This time he's not as fortunate, and that is going to take them out of the position where they leave Get Right so commonly to try and give the map control late. However, Bomb, thankfully, still back toward Freiberg. They'll pick that up and look elsewhere.
And you have to say, Matt, I think I've said it a lot, especially in Pro League as well, the fact that every time Get Right's by himself towards B, more often than not, he's actually going down without a kill, and there's no one there to actually get it back for the refrag. Still a potential here for Michaelele. 2 players went on the other side of the door, though. How does this work out for him? He dares open it. Shox, presumably with the
That's
Zeus.
Exactly what he wants it for. That's why he bought it. He tried. Michaelele got the headshot towards Smiths. Now they'll Molotov into the fence position, NBK's position. Shox will die in, and the smoke at the top of highway as they walk in, but Scream's got one on the headshot from the Deagle, and you never know what he can accomplish with a gun like that. picking away as Forrest towards body. RPK last alive, not quite spotted through that smoke. He'll look back toward A main, but another round looking to go to NiP, and they've kept Exist alive on the AK, which is important because the rest of them were still on those SMGs, so they'll look to upgrade those regardless in the next round, I imagine. I don't think a bonus round's really in the cards here. They want to just take this directly at the start, take the fight and get on with it.
I'm not so sure. Considering that G2 did force in the second, there's always that mentality that they might not have head armor, right? That does make the SMGs a little bit more viable going into the gun round there, but it is the grand final. You're right. You do want to hedge your bets. Well, they're keeping the UMPs, which does kind of make sense.
Two of them's okay. If they had kept 4, maybe, I'm not sure.
Yeah, but you can see 3 players without head armor. That makes them so much stronger here. It's actually a really cool thing to keep them on board here. Fast tactic coming in. That's a great way to kick off the first gun round. Taking control of middles. No orbs available for G2 as well, which is an interesting point. Smith's pretty professional in this map. We'll see whether he can hold on. As Scream Molotov out of position as well. NiP have gained that mid control. What they're going to do next is yet to be seen. The bomb is still towards the A side of the map. And it's going to be Exist and Get Right. No B presence at all. You can see the CT's actually trying to push into B storage. They're getting a lot of information out of this.
The one-time Get Right's not here.
Yep.
Having gone down in the last
This is a problem
round.
for NiP because now they need to act a little bit quicker. They know they've left this open, and no one's actually coming to check it, but we have got T-Spawn play coming in. That's going to be Freiburg.
Yeah, that's actually the right place to be in right now, especially where RPK has already crossed over. Body just walks into his own death, and RPK knows it now. Which way do I go? How do I fight this? It's fight forward. The best defense is a good offense. He catches them off, but no hope to catch off Michael Lilly inside of that B connector. And Get Right charges forward. They've got the B site once more. It's a 2-on-3. Favoring NiP. Bomb just arriving now. That does allow a little bit of time for the rotation of both Shocks and Smiths. Nades toward heaven. A little bit early. And the back corner plant as well. That won't allow the Molotov to land on top of Michael Lilly. They won't catch him rotating out of that position, and Smiths is going to try and hold off the angle. Walking in, though, not exposed to the third member. They've gone underneath of heaven. They're both out of the 2 or 3 underneath there, and it's Michael Lilly and Get Right from those positions that'll find the kills.
Lovely stuff from NiP there to kick things off. With the fast mid control, like I said before, you force by in the second. It's unlikely the CTs will have an AWP, and if they do, it'll be glass cannon. Not going to have the incendiaries either. You're quite safe to boost up. NiP get that mid control. But then we said the B storage is open. G2 realized this. They lose the first kill. I didn't expect this to happen, but the problem is, for RPK, he gets 2, that's great, but as soon as Get Right takes him down, he's capitalizing and getting himself into B. He knows that site's going to be open at this stage. Once it's in, the smokes are dropped. It's an incredibly difficult retake for the CTs. NiP, safe plant as well. We saw Michael having good awareness there, planting towards the back left instead of the common plant spot. Negates that Molotov, which could have been a problem. And we go into round number 5, 4-0 for the Ninjas, and it's a full eco here for G2 as well. Some Deagles once more. RPK goes to the P250 and body armor. But you can see a full default here. No one giving anything away at the start. Get Right surely doesn't want to die alone this round. Wants to make sure he's with his teammates and refragging and using the buddy system.
Exist just waiting to see if anyone's going to push out as well. RPK. Twice he's been in here in this position. A third time body came up and caught Get Right. So they are looking to push. Well, it did push last round as well in the gun, but put some pressure onto this. Perhaps that's their counter. Rather than sit back and not take checker, just go aggressive and see if they can catch off Get Right.
Well, yeah, 3 players stacked towards the B side for G2. At this point, it looks like an A-sided attack. And this CT's as well pushing it away before us. He's coming with that AWP, looking for the first pick. The flashbang drops, and both kills coming in for NiP. Very efficient stuff from them, completely taking over the A-side. And at this point, getting in there, still using the smoke. You can see they're treating this like a gun round. Oh, okay.
Double. That's actually really nice from Shocks. And just as you mentioned, efficiency, they did double smoke toward highway, so a slight miscommunication on Michael Lilly coming out of the door. Leaves a gap behind the site, which means Shocks has a chance to try and push in toward quad with that deagle, but they are down, and Forrest through the smoke. He's got Shocks.
Yep, he's getting pumped up. It's what we like to see from Forrest. 3 kills to him this round. The point I'm trying to make is that they're treating this like gun round. They don't want to give anything away. Don't risk a single thing. It's a little bit of a mistake with the double smoke, but still didn't really matter too much getting into there. Shocks, it's 1-1 dig, but doesn't get much more than that. So 5-0 here for the Ninjas. Maximum loss bonus for the CTs. They do have the option to get the AWPs out now, of course. I'm sure that's what we'll see. Potential for 2 orbs. We saw how strong that could be with Shocks and Smiths both running that setup. And this was an interesting shot. We talked about those lineups, Matt, knowing how to use your surroundings to know where the left-hand side of that box is. For example, double orb. So there it is. Smiths and Shocks coming in with this setup. And actually 3 players towards middle this time. Going to be trying to go a bit more aggressive. And there's the Molotov to stop the fast play we saw in the first gun round.
Get Right again, pushing aggressively. He's got teammates with him this time, so you can't be as critical that he's alone. Smoke toward checker from body. That's so passive. He's so far on the site already. He's already thinking about what next. And this is a reverse boost. This is so good. Forrest says, okay, hi, Get Right. I see you. Now we can start to work out. Get Right. He's going to come out and save Forrest. Wow. Never mind. He doesn't need the help. He's got the assist kill, but Forrest takes down RPK in the corner. They never knew that they had vents that quickly, and body is limited inside of this B site. Exist, high HP, already deep. It might be Freiberg going down due to his HP, but Exist immediately there to trade that, and Bomb will slowly join in. It's still just back toward the front of the B main tunnels, so it does mean there is time for these rotations, but it's a double AWP retake.
That's the thing, a horrible retake situation. You've got one flashbang, 2 orbs to try and take over a completely controlled side by NiP at this point. The smokes are down. They have no more utility to terror road, so that's one thing. They have a little bit of time to work with the kid in hand as well, but this is up to NiP to give this away. If they allow themselves to phase, that's when the orbs can capitalize. If they just stay in and hide, crossfire set up, it's almost impossible. You can see the CT is actually going to be saving the weapons at this point. One in T-spawn, one towards CT. That's probably the right call. It's very unlikely with 2 orbs you're going to make this situation happen for you. But NiP coming out on top once again. It's get right, getting into checkers and boost it up back. It's so clever when you can do that as well and have pressure from middle at the same time. You've got players facing as he's doing that. He picks up the first one, takes that attention away from RPK. Forrest finishes him off. And the 2 orbs left in a horrible situation. They are going to save these weapons by the looks of things. NiP are going to be hunting for 6-0 here on the T side of Cash. This is their pick. We move on to Overpass, which isn't a fantastic map for G2. It's okay, but we've seen NiP really stepping up here on that particular map since the addition of Michael. This series just got very interesting indeed.
Well, it's just the start, but yeah, absolutely. I mean, NiP Cash, they're not showing any signs of slowing against G2. 6-0. Double op saved, so imagine they'll force around this. Double ops on Cash, it's one of the best maps that you can have it on the CT side, and we know that Smiths has had a better tournament, perhaps his best tournament in a long time. What more can he possibly bring to the table? M-Force brought up around it. Get right this time, not over toward B. It's a fast A hit. NiP, they're already setting up for the smokes over the top. Exist, he'll put one out toward Quad. Immediately join back in toward Get Right, and once again out toward Door. It's going to be Forrest, which leaves Micah Lille on the op, so they've switched that up on the T side as well.
We'll see what happens here. This is quite nice when you know that the double orbs are saved as well, doing those set pieces towards A. It's actually fantastic, but look at this push coming in. It's going to be the A side attack, but Smiths hits the first shot.
Underneath the arm, and he misses twice. It gives actually a deagle shot to Micah Lille, and that reverse boost, Get Right doesn't stick around. He doesn't need to. He needs to go support A as they lost a man on the way through, so the lurk play doesn't amount to much, nor the CT side boost as Forrest is going to find out RPK. It's Micah Lille again. Remember, on this AWP, they switched it up, and so far, each of them have found a kill in the new role. The change of pace. Double smokes out toward Highway. Fast peek out from Forrest, but Shocks and Body have kills in return. It's a 2 versus 2, and Get Right. He's in the corner, but Micah Lille's hit Shocks up close, and Micah Lille's got Body down as well.
Michael has been stepping up all tournament. He delivers again in this 2-on-2 situation, takes down the final 2 kills. But what perfect calling we've seen so far from Exist. He knows the double ults have been saved. He wants to do something a little bit more tactical, take them out of the equation there. And you can see Smiths was left alone on the A bomb site, hits one shot, but then completely taken down by the deagle of Michael in that round as well. Especially, that's kind of interesting. And he completely locks the retake out of position there. CT's had the force by that round, didn't have much to work with. They were buying around those AWPs, but NiP running away with this one at this stage. It's going to be another eco for G2 as Forrest works towards B storage. Did spot a player, fires off a shot that can't land for now.
Checks for the skylight boost as well. Why not? They're on pistols. They've got to do something to try and pull it back against NiP early on.
No particular stack coming in for the CTs at this point. Pretty standard setup with the Deagles. You can see 2-on-2. Nothing aggressive really, just holding up and hoping they can find those 1 digs, but NiP adjusting themselves towards B. They have got a great B execute. They'll probably do it in a similar fashion we saw in the last eco. Actually give himself Molotovs, smokes all over the site, maximum chance of making the CTs have to expose himself instead of sitting back. There it is.
Molotov pushes Body into the open. It's no man's land, and he certainly doesn't own it, but RPK makes it interesting. Drops down 2 AKs on the way through, 3 versus 3, and Get Right onto 20 HP. He's gone lower than that as Smiths takes him down. It pulled back immediately by Exist, who now is spraying down with the AK to find another kill, but the immediate pushback from Scream. He can't land it. That's going to make a double face, and Micah Lille comes to bail them out. 8-0 for NiP.
RPK definitely made things interesting there, and it's going to be... Sorry, Matthew, I got distracted.
It's all right.
It's okay. We're trying to get on the server on RPC as well. RPK finds 2 shots with the P250 and does make it very close indeed. That deagle shot towards Checkers, that could have been the differentiating factor, but NiP managed to hold them off. And we do have the huge scoreline here going forward. This is 8-0 here on the terrorist half of Cash as well. Orp in the hands of Forrest still, but still another full buy once again. And all the double orb setup. It's going to be G2 with Smiths once again. A bit more aggressive this time. Pushing in to A storage, but Shock's getting shut down. Forrest is on fire right now, but Smiths does answer back. He had to do something about that situation. Brings it back to a 4-on-4.
Well spotted by Smiths. Remember, there was an online game for Pro League where Smiths was completely dead on this map. Shocks took the AWP away from him, in fact, on the CT side, and that was one of the angles Smith was struggling with, so at least a good refrag against Forrest this time. It's going to be Michaelele on the up. As a result, crowd's getting behind NiP.
Yeah, it seems like they're getting pumped up. We've actually got a pretty full house here today as well. NiP seem to be the home favourites as we are adjusting ourselves towards B. Michael on the AWP recovering it from Forrest. He's actually holding towards mid for now, and Get Right, of course, leading the charge with the B side. The Molotov starting to rain in. RPK stepped up to the P250 last time. Can he have similar results here?
Well thrown Molotov timed against Get Right. He's going to cross over on a flash, though it leaves the opening for his teammates to peek through, but RPK passive angle, waiting for Get Right. It's Michaelele to open up onto body, and RPK's got to shuffle around this. The smoke actually works for him, but he's arriving at Get Right's position, and if he just looked away sooner, if Get Right had gotten toward tree, it would have been an opening, but it's not. It's Scream now, limited toward the heaven. He does pick up one. Freiburg just over top of the box with that bomb already planted. Does not need to re-peek on this. Michaelele just confirms he's still up toward the heaven, and NiP is going to show some discipline, but G2 desperately need to start getting rounds. They've got to start going for these, even though they're down 2 men. As Scream falls, they've still got to make a play. Smiths tries, and he'll fall to Freiburg. 9-0 for NiP. When does G2 call a timeout? When do they do something different?
They do it right now. So it comes in. Michaelele having a fantastic performance here with the AWP after losing the first frag there as well. Goes down to the 4-on-4. Michael picks it up, finds 2 frags towards that B side once again. RPK is getting locked down as G2 having a horrible time holding off these little set pieces you got from NiP. It's nothing super complex. There's a couple of Molotovs on the side that have to make them face, and you can see them being exposed and Get Right, hitting absolutely everything, getting these entry kills every time. 9-0, and what a scoreline that is. The money, the maximum loss bonus is there. They definitely can buy around this. They can get an AWP. It'll be glass cannon if they have to. 2 players can't get 4 buys. This is getting to a bit of a horror show. Perfect time for a pause, though. It's not over yet. Maybe round number 10. Partial buy potentially here, but if we can get pulled back and get 10-5, it's still possible. Just need to look at the bigger picture going forward.
So Forrest back onto the AWP. They seem to have good synergy, both he and Michaelele, and when exactly who wants and the other does not. Or if the spawn is more suited to Michaelele, who seems to be having a good time right now with Get Right as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Michael's such an unknown quantity coming into this tournament. People were saying he potentially wasn't good enough anymore to play at this sort of level, but he's slotted into this roster very nicely, I have to say. He's actually performed very well in most of their games. You can't really argue with the results so far.
And you got to wonder if there's a bit of honeymoon to it, but obviously he's got synergy and chemistry with this team before. It's the same lineup he played with a year ago.
Sure.
And it was that was the other thing. Disco Doppelin was playing extremely well with NiP as a stand-in, so obviously the other 4 are doing big things to accommodate that, and if you take that to heart literally and look at Freiburg, he's stepped up a massive amount over the last 3 weeks.
You also have to remember as well, this is the first tournament where Exist is calling without the backup of Threat as well.
Yeah.
He's back in control. Threat still is part of the unit. He's not here at the event, but he's sending the analysis to him before the matches and giving him the intel he needs.
And how good does that look heading to something like ESL New York or the majors next year when you've got the new coaching restrictions?
It's actually worked out quite nicely for NiP. Obviously, Exist knows how the coach, been doing it for years, and now with the backup of Threat as well, it seems like they're working as a very, very efficient unit indeed. It's going to be G2 forcing into this. I guess it makes sense. They need to start posting rounds here. No AWP available, and they are limited with the utility. Smith's without a single grenade. Bodu just a smoke, and it's just another standard here. You can just bleed out the CTs. You know they're going to be weak at this point, just relying on the maximum loss bonus, not really getting any cash together. 9-0, round number 10. Surely it's time for G2 to wake up. Shocks is having one of the tournaments of his career so far, and he's been pretty quiet here on the CT side.
Yeah, nothing going their way at all. 5 M4s, 2 smokes remaining, 4 flashes, a Molotov, or incendiary, I guess, if you want to get technical, but
it all works.
Let's not get too carried away. Let's not take the fun out of it.
Well then, at this point, you'd expect that aggression to be coming in from G2. They're in the swinging. Okay, right, Smith's taken down by himself. He tried to go for that aggressive play I was just about to describe. He gets completely wrecked by Michael. He actually takes a little bit of damage there, but comes out on top. There's still a minute remaining as well. G2 need to react to this. Shock's trying to do what he can. Will be flashed in. Finds nothing for it, though. Fact is, he knows him potentially not coming towards A at this point. He can hold towards lockers. His team can rotate and maybe gamble towards B. Freiburg with the mid control. Smokes have been deployed, and Shocks, he knows they may be aware that he's here. 30 seconds, the next move will be their last.
Immediate Molotov out behind the box. It's Freiberg, though, to pull back against Body, who found Get Right. Scream. He's here early this time, so RPK getting a kill on Freiberg. This is starting to look better for G2, even though it's a 3 versus 3 take on to B, but a shot coming in. Again, it's Body. Now RPK. He's got 2 in the rotation coming around. There's nowhere for Forrest to go, but he's got 2 kills back. Nowhere to go but into the action, and he's found it. He's got bomb planted. Shocks coming in from B main, and he's timed it, Forrest. But Shocks is finally going to give G2 a round.
Finally, it's not the cleanest. After losing that first frag as well, RPK had to work so hard, known to being good, a solid anchor towards these sort of positions. Yeah, he needs something to pick up at this point. Let's just win the round first. Can't see the AWP bow, but oh my God. It looked like another disaster. You can see G2 not even elated with that one. They're just happy they've posted 1 round. Problem is now that's the full reset after losing 4 players as well, and one staying alive. NiP have got money for days. G2 forcing into this one. Not going to have the potential for the AWP. Shocks couldn't find it, so they're going to be a famous 2 M4s, 1 kit so far, make it 2. Smiths hasn't been dropped anything. He's got an M4. If they lose this round, it's almost certainly going to be a double eco map, and that's it. That could be the GG moment this round, right here, right now. So a must-win round going forward for G2. Maybe a fast play from NiP. It's perfect for reasons I said before in that first gun round.
Shocks pushed up against the smoke. He steps up in the last, pulls it back to their favor with that last kill. It's up to him to go nuts, as he's done in the last 2 series they played, but only 1 kill this time, and it's Forrest.
The new hybrid.
Yeah, an amalgamation of 2 players on NiP, but it is Forrest. And we'll get the kill. The revenge from last time. It's going to be Body. Molotov'd out of that vent, so they won't be able to pull back the control of middle.
Forrest is ready for this boost if they do it.
They want it. They're definitely thinking about it.
Maybe this is the crossfire. They want to try and bait in a player to go, but the boost does look like he's coming in. Body, goodbye.
Oh. Body's got a problem. Scream's waiting inside a Z connector, but Forrest, oh yes, he's got it just before the smoke lands, and they tried to throw the smoke to make him turn. He doesn't bother. He doesn't bite, but Smiths has gotten to the lockers. He's not been able to get to this position comfortably yet so far in this half. It might be something, a curveball, just enough to throw NiP off, and it certainly does. Catches Freiberg. Now it's up to Michaelele to pull that back, and G2, remember, they're facing resets, so picking up this round, and now when it advantageous 3 versus 2 is extremely important. Forrest goes down. It's up to Michaelele to find 3. Inside of the site, bomb down A main, flash in, check up in the corner. Smith's fully blind. You've got to land the spray, Michael. You've got to land the spray, Michael.
It was smart. He read the situation well. He covers himself in CT spawn with the smoke, knows there's a CT on the left.
He's having a good time.
He's laughing about it because it was, if you don't laugh, Matt, sometimes you're going to cry. Yeah, for that kind of play. Fair enough. It probably wouldn't have won the round, but that kill we should have been picking up. I can actually see the chat in the server as well. They're all laughing about it. Takes the edge off the grand final.
We saw that in the show match at Cologne, to be fair.
Did we?
Very similar spray on this
map.
We
did, yes, you're right. I know what you mean. Well then.
Crowd certainly still wants to support NiP after that. But Scream, they're coming alive now, G2. And 9-6 was the average halftime scoreline for this map at the last major. And I'm not mistaken, I think ECS before that. So it's definitely a doable scoreline, and NiP can't slip. They can't let off this gas pedal at all because we know that they've been so hot throughout this tournament. We go to Overpass next, which, yes, okay, NiP's resurged on, but G2 picked it, and Cobblestone, where they've been dominant.
Yes, well, yeah, you're absolutely right. It may have been 9-0 at one point, but still not over. You can never give up at these stages. They've got 2 rounds here. They do get the 9-6. It's definitely still a very competitive game. They have the man advantage for now as Michaelele got taken down at the start of the round to the hands of Scream. And once again, Freiberg getting control of Checkers, gets the first kill though. There's still 2 on the B side though. This is a nice stack from G2.
Ooh, RPK nearly gets caught out transition. Freiberg should know that he's over to the right now. He had that boost set for that exact smoke because they've thrown it so many times he's back. I thought he might go up back on top of that box. Now they know there's 2 there, but RPK, he plays it perfectly. He knows exactly what NiP's been doing to isolate him out of the action, and he responds accordingly. It's now 3 in a row for G2, and if I'm not mistaken, money. It's reasonable.
I would say at this point, probably not worth buying. There's some Tech 9s will be fine. A pause come in for NiP after losing 3 in a row. Probably just want to take the foot off the pedal a little bit here. Maybe getting a bit carried away. You can see, though, GT reading this perfectly. RPK is actually using their smokes against him, jumping up onto the bomb site. Like I said, so strong in these anchor positions, finds 3 kills at the back of the Scream as well.
And you saw him standing there earlier in the round when our observer was on him because that indicated to me that he was ready for those smokes, and they've thrown them every round. They have pushed those smokes every single time they've gone into the B site. So good adaptation, proactive play from RPK, and it's going to give them 3 in a row now on the G2 side. They've cut the lead down to 6. It's still tremendous. 9-3 right now for NiP after going on an absolute tear at the start of this game.
Yeah, absolutely. G2 just couldn't get anything rolling here, but starting to come alive on the bomb sites here. The big names starting to turn up on the scoreboard. RPK and Scream, certainly one of them. As we go forward, NiP, like I said, probably not worth the full investment this round. A partial buy with Tech 9s in the smoke, trying to get a plant down. Sassy Sports going to be coming in. Freiburg kicks it off with a Deagle and head armor. They've got the full utility range, though, so they could go for something like the B execute like they do, what we've seen before, and try and, oh, okay, maybe this is a force buy. Forrest has gone all in, you know. He's gone for the AK and armor. All right, well, everyone's going for it. It is the force buy, Matt. So, one Deagle.
Well, it would put them to 4 rounds in the loss bonus, but without a bomb plant, that's all done and dusted.
I guess it does kind of work in this scenario. G2 haven't got the AWP yet, so that does help them boost their chances significantly, not having to go up against the AWP. And Shock's just on a Famus as well, the danger man on the server, and a fantastic tournament so far. It will be a default from NiP to kick things off, and a similar scene for G2 as well. Freiburg holding towards B storage with the Desert Eagle. And we've got Scream, AK-47 at his deadliest, holding mid. But all the boosts is going to be semi-successful. That could have blown off the head of him there.
There is actually a boost. Like you say, you can jump up there yourself, but there's a boost that iBuyPower used to do there to watch Whitebox with an AWP, and it's extremely smart. So nearly gets the headshot with the AK just being up there on his own.
Well then, no damage really inflicted as of yet. NiP do have 2 smokes remaining and Molotovs. Probably going to go for that mid control once again, once the CT smokes dissipate.
So 2 men up. Watch the waterfall. Different approach. Not toward B this time. Michael out. Clears off both spots. Flash slightly gets him, but that's intended to cover off Z. Good positioning right now, though. From Shocks. Right back for the retake. That's why they've left this A side open. He's hoping that he'll hear them going in through A main, but he's actually got an opportunity potentially to push behind them as well. It depends on how fast they can contain NiP. He's going to go back. He's going to play this safe. He wants to hold them off with his teammates and not have to play a retake if they can prevent it, if they can set a crossfire, but it's just 2 members to do so. One of them being Smith. He's blind. He's pushed back. Michael going to push against him, and Michael's got 1 at least so far. He's still going to hold these as Freiburg takes down Scream. Shocks gets 1 back, but NiP with 3 quick kills immediately after the timeout against the one against them. Freiburg will fall in the end to Body, who now has to try and push back through the highway. And the post plant. Look at this wraparound right now. Watch Get Right. King Lurks going back to business as he's going to go all the way through and try and catch them off, knowing that surely one of them has to be going up the highway, and Body just getting around the corner. Not quite. Get Right's caught him in his trap, and it's going to be RPK trying desperately to make this round happen, but time is ticking, and he's only got 1 kill out of the 3 required. Not only that, if he tries to go down highway, or excuse me, truck right now to exit, Get Right's waiting for him. He's just watching this. He's not going to overcommit because, again, they did force into this round. Their money's not great, but he's not going to let RPK get away.
Oh, so yeah, RPK is well aware that could be a possibility. So Get Right does wait for him, but Michael Lady goes down with a bomb. Kind of interesting considering that was a force buy, but there it is. The Deagles and AK's purchase for NiP making their way towards the A site there, getting those entries that are required as well. Very passive from G2. Can't really justify that too much with the buy they had. If they had the AWP towards CD Sport, that'd be a lot more viable for them. But you can see Michael gets up towards highway. That mid control comes in once more. He gets that all-important kill towards Smiths, and then the CD players on the A bomb site in a horrible position. At this point, they are going to be force buying again. There is money. It's not a horrible buy. You can see 2 Famuses, 3 M4s, but they haven't had the AWP at all here on the CT half. Scream, though, aggressive towards Squeaky, trying to get that first pick, and he could do something with this one, considering NiP are boosting up.
He might get there in time. There's still 1 player and the bomb out toward that A main position. They've just got around the corner. They're going to go back 2 toward that squeaky door, though, this time, as opposed to just the one at Get Right. He's going in aggressively. His teammates already on highway. It's a push toward quad. Shocks. He's got a gap inside of that flame, though, and the flash mistimed. Get Right can't see anything when he goes over the top. That's going to cost him his life. Smith's back out the door. Shocks. He nearly lines them. And Smith's, he's still in this position. The flash out, but he's being watched by Michael who nearly puts the shot into him, but has to fade away from it. Comes back around, and Michael with 1. Scream still there, though. It's Forrest down. And a 2 versus 2, low HP. That nade, it's going to land almost right on top of him, and Michael goes to 8. I thought that was going to take him all the way down. I was a bit confused for a minute. But Michael gets bomb planted. That's the important part. Manages to cross over and keep himself alive as well, but they now know both players are toward quad position. That's going to make things so awkward. Dodging the flash, and it's Exist to take Body. They know where Scream is. 100 HP versus 60 on the 2 players combined for NiP, and he's going to clock out. He's got Exist, but Michael holds the angle, and he's got the round back for NiP. 2 in a row, and money is gone again on the G2 side.
Big round there for NiP. That fast AX queue where they get the mid control as well. You can see how stifling it is for the CTs. They've got no vision. If you're on the A bomb site, the terrorists actually focusing towards CT spawn, getting any rotators, and then coming in, using the smokes to an advantage, pushing through. There's Molotovs all over the place as well. It's beautiful to watch, and G2 can't hold it off. After they went aggressive as well, Scream was stuck in the door. The kill towards Highway, that was important. As soon as Body went down, they knew Scream was stuck in there. Michael holding on, finds two very important frags. We're going to number 15 here. The last round of the first half, all they have is pistols and a UMP in the hands of Scream. He's pushing door once again. And the problem is Michael is going to be waiting for him. Doesn't land the first shot, but does get the information that he's there.
He needs to be careful, though, Michael. Scream pursues, and that flash not timed to perfection or quick enough to pull the gun back out is going to cost him his life. It leaves NiP 2 men down now because Smiths has just taken Forrest off the map. So an eco for G2 that's looking quite good on round 15.
Apparently so. They had to step up and try and find the frags. It's Scream going aggressive once again. Michael panicking a little bit there. Probably just had the weapon out to stop the push coming in. He's got the advantage. He knows he's got a UMP. But now we are in the 5-on-3. Another UMP picked up. Can NiP find anything from this? If they only have one smoke of any, they haven't got a lot to actually execute on the sides. Exist trying to find something towards middle, see some heads, but CT's being disciplined and falling back.
He won't find anything as he gets off that boost. They're going to go all three in A main, which is a hard entrance to make against these pistols, which are here. But now it's just two left on the site. The other two are flanking over from B. If they could just slow them. They've got one more flash on this site to try and do so with no take that back. His body rotating, but it's Smith's coming back out. Only one. Freiberg's going to pull him back. And Exist watching flank. It's RPK nearly taking him down. It's 12 HP. That would have made it a one-on-one. Our bodies arrived. And bombs off. It's 20 seconds.
This is a tight call, guys. Yeah, okay. Were they trying to bait other footsteps, or did they realize they didn't have enough time? If they were baiting the footsteps, it almost worked perfectly, but Body's coming back.
And he's coming back against Exist, who only has 12 HP, but now he's gone, Body. He's overthinking this. 20 seconds. He himself should have been aware that that's a tight call, and he's going to get caught in middle. That gives away, okay, yes, they're back on A, but bomb gets planted at NiP. Body, no kit. Have AKs to hold this off. It's going to be miraculous if Body can make this work with the 5-7.
If that was by design by NiP to make the footsteps back towards mid and then walk back, that was actually very smart, although they just realized they didn't have enough time. But here we go, Body, 2 versus 1, no kit. Edges his way towards quad, needs to find his first kill. He's going to have any chance. Doesn't land the first bullet, and Exist finishes him off. What a half it's been. 12-3 for NiP on the T side of Cash here. They lost 3 rounds in a row, took a pause, rectified the errors that are being made, and that's a fantastic first half here on their map pick.
You want to get poetic, Get Right said these fans should be behind us. We've got the same colors in our flag. Cash based in the Ukraine. It's all there, right? It's all by design, but it's 12-3 NiP. Very impressive first half. 9-0 to start it off. Timeouts have both been used. Remember, it's 1 timeout per team per map. So never mind to be confused by what happened with Na'Vi and then Astralis early in the tournament. There's not 2 timeouts. Both teams have used them, and both teams to some success as well. 9-0, they call a timeout, they get 3 rounds. Yep. NiP calls a timeout, they get all the rest.
It's strange, isn't it? There's something about the pauses that no one can really explain. I actually asked Richard about them. When a pause is used against him, what's his mentality, especially on the CT side? What's he trying to think about? What's his adjustment in those points? And he just basically said, at that point, I don't want to change anything too much. I know the terrorist is probably going to be coming at me pretty quickly. It's quite a natural for me to kind of say, oh, let's try and go aggressive here. Let's try and change things up. But the reality is that's maybe what they want you to do as well. It's best off just to stay how you are and just try and be a little calmer as you go forward.
Pizza. I'd love some. Just to clarify as well for those who are not regular viewers, Richard being Exist, not Richard Lewis. Michael with 2 quick kills. Very fast to start this off. Body, he finds the kill in return, but he's gone down. It's Freiberg and Get Right in Forrest.
Okay, okay. G2, that's what they famed for on their T-pistols. Very fast and simple plays, relying on the big players. Scream normally getting the deagle as well, but Michael Ailey, the stand-in no less, steps up, finds those first 2 USB headshots. His team get the information, and it's just a bloodbath for the terrorists there. 13-3, they're going to have to force buy here, have no choice. And this is taking NiP 1 step closer to their first victory in quite a while since DreamHack Malmo. But what a convincing first map this has been.
Forrest. He's waiting inside of that B main position. Good flash out there from Body. Michael Lilly's gone down, same position, but now it's Freiberg. Stepping up as always on the CT side. 2 kills for him, but just 2. Forrest has pulled 1 in the meantime. That's watching his teammate off from the wings deep within the site. It's down to a 3 versus 1 as Scream's going to backpedal inside of this B main position with the Tech 9 in hand.
What a game this has been. You're always in safe hands with Forrest is left on the side. So consistent, such in good form right now as well. It's brilliant to see him lighting up the scoreboard every single game. Just who will be Scream now has got the bomb, but a headshot, that's impressive. Can't finish it off as Exist goes down to 13 HP. 14-3 now, of course. G2 have no choice but to force buy. It's not ideal. They're going to have to get the Tech 9s out. Maybe Deagles could go full eco and allow NiP to get to match point, but at this point, I don't really think it matters. Here's the force buy. Smiths with the scouts. Deagles are out. Some head armor as well. Unless someone goes absolutely huge here, this is almost guaranteed to be NiP getting to that illustrious match points.
Shocks is up inside of the stairwell with Deagle. Pre-aim toward that A site. Smith's on the scout. He's already on 44 HP. Your heavy weapons, man, already struggling to start things off. That's his teammate. Things are getting antsy on the G2 side, I dare say. At least he's looking hot for reactions, but the awkwardness is going to prevail for Freiburg as he got through middle. He went into the vents from the mid side and Exist. He catches body in transition. If they saw it on the radar, they'll realize the bomb was down inside of that smoke. But Shocks, he's come alive with one. He's got two with this Deagle. We're not done yet. RPK still on the map to help him out in this 3 versus 2 now as he gets inside of the A site. He's looking to wrap back around the red crate, but Get Right was waiting at quad the whole time and he held his composure. It is just RPK. And I'm afraid, ooh, maybe not. I thought Freiburg knew he was there and was staring him down. He does get the kill. Goes down to red in the end, but it's 15-3. NiP first map is looking extremely good. Now, G2, they need to just remember this was NiP's choice. Brush it off, because I don't think we've got this easy of another map ahead of us. I don't think that NiP is going to have a walk in the park by any means, but this has certainly been hard on G2's mind. Yeah, they've been gutted like a fish here on Cash. It's been horrible for them. It's 15-3 map points. Feels like it's only been about 15 minutes long. It's going to be Pistols that potentially finishes off there as we go for an A play from G2. Just going to be going in fast as you like. Freiburg hungry for frags here. He's pushing him once again, but Shocks does take him down. That gives him a rifle at least. Oh no, and Get Right. He's missed the spray inside of MA, and it's G2 with 2 quick kills on these pistols. Makalele pulls one back with the AWP. Back toward the white truck. He's going to hold the angle as well as Forrest tries to get back in mid, but another missed shot, and Shocks capitalizes with the picked up M4. Exist will pull him back, walking out late. It's just Scream 1 versus 2 to try and keep the map alive for G2. Bomb does get planted. Exist, he's got a kid, as does Makalele, but he's only got 8 HP to work with, and Makalele's going to have both a smoke flash to work inside the site. The flash will go now. Catches Scream in its entirety, but as we see from the Tracer, it came from a long way back. They won't be able to capitalize, and Scream's position in this is not too bad. To get up on top of Catwalk late like this, however, Exist, if he walks across the front of the site and doesn't see him, it should give away where he is. Exactly that. No! Snaps back, the low HP haunts him, and Scream! He's going to pull the round back! Exist missing the spray, and just like that, G2 get the round away. Pretty much the only way he could have won that as well. Like he said, a decent position. Has the trigger discipline for just long as well as enough, and I thought Exist had him dead to rights there, but apparently not. They can't finish it off. There's going to be 15-4. Shock. Shock is back, not Shocks. Shock. Yeah, it's a nice sign. Not his biggest fan, I'll take it. But it's going to be round number 20. There is a force by Willie enough from NiP. Is it required, Matt, at this point? Do you need to force this in with shotguns and UMPs, M4s? You probably just want to close it out properly, right? But at the same time, close it out early. Make them suffer with just 4 rounds. You keep all of your confidence that way instead of losing a little bit of the momentum and maybe giving G2 a bit of life. But at the same time, if it fails, it goes completely the opposite direction in that regard. Because you had money. I understand you've been reset, and the idea is you might be double eco regardless. But the fact they have 2 rifles here and UMPs, they probably could have bought something much more satisfactory going to the next. But I guess they're trying to strike while the iron's hot and see whether G2 don't have much available, but Smiths does. He gets a headshot on Get Right. He's boosted on the side there. It gives the M4 to Exist rather than Get Right. Oh, he just gets around the corner. Shocks, I'm sure he saw him. He's definitely saw him. Smiths is trying to pre-fire it. Smiths misses that second shot, but Shocks jumps out. It's a headshot for him. There's life in him yet as he starts to bring some kills onto the scoreboard because they haven't really got much in the first half. Not only rounds, they were all fairly one-sided, the ones they lost. It's Freiburg. Does do some damage onto Smiths, peeks him again, but it's body that will catch him off by wrapping back around inside of the site, and RPK. Force buy's not going to work, so NiP, I get what they want. They want to put the nail in the coffin with absolute authority and make G2 have to think about this one after a quick map, but now they've got to bide their time a little bit and giving a little bit of momentum to G2. Yeah, the thing is, each player had about 3K in them rounds, and wait one more round this time, you get an extra $2,000, and you actually got a nice full buy there. You could have finished things off efficiently. There will be, on the partial this time, some Desert Eagles, smokes, and this is a chance for G2 just to make the scoreline at this stage
a little bit more competitive, I guess, at this stage, and we'll see whether they can actually start stringing each round together. We saw, okay, all right, maybe it's going to be over sooner than we thought as exists if we can carry on with shots like that.
Freiburg jumping on this box needs to be careful. Smiths, he's already pre-aimed through that smoke toward Checker. Flash lands beside Freiburg. He wants to use this smoke to his advantage. That one's going to leave a gap. He's got a chance to do it, but no, Scream's going to get up close, and it will take him down with the AK. Forrest is the next in line. He's got a P250, not a Deagle. And he's playing at the generator headshot position, which is quite easy to flush out 3 versus 3, though. And Scream's got Get Right down. It's just Forrest and Michaelele remaining, and they're slowing it considerably for G2's side. Molotov toward that box position. No one jumping out from behind the box. That's cleared.
Back to
Next on the checklist. All right, back to A it is.
I think so. Like, obviously, they've given quite a lot away there. The CTs will be stacking together, going all in, and this is probably the right call. Catch them on the rotation. The CTs will be able to read it, of course. You can see that's going to be Michael going back towards A, but this is the problem. He hasn't got a chance to actually get in a decent position. Sure, he's towards truck of a Deagle. There is a chance of a cheeky 1D here. Pretty unlikely. He'll take the shot now, and as you can see, it's very hard to actually land those ones. Smith's going to have a huge advantage there with the AWP. Bomb planted round over, just Forrest with the PT50 there. So Exist opened things up. Made it exciting at least, and then Michael found a shot, but ultimately that was well played by G2, and it should be finished off. There it is. Smiths to close it out. 15-6 now. And money still not fine for NiP. It's probably not worth the buy once again.
No, I think it might be better to just have patience at this point in time. They'll bring out a couple pistols.
Stop force buying. Let's calm down. Let's just make sure we get double orbs. Let's get all the grenades we need, and we'll finish it off. It's a CT side of catch. You've got to find one. Just don't open the window of opportunity any further than it has to be for G2 at this stage.
Freiburg pushing in, though.
Hello.
Oh, he's got them off. If he hadn't picked up the second kill, that was an AK for free. But RPK is going to hold true, right place, right time. Get Right's going to try and get aggressive in return. Watch the spray coming through from Scream. Because Get Right got caught on the edge of the garage, and perhaps it's best that he backs away rather than pushes through after that awkward exchange, nearly costing him inside of the smoke before he pushed through. It's 30 HP he's got left. As a Molotov will now go toward sandbags at mid. They've checked it every round. No one's really been there yet for NiP. They're playing white box instead. It's been Michaelele and Exist taking turns of rotating up and down that highway. All right, there's some G2 chance this time, it sounds like. As Shocks clears behind the box. And Michaelele will get toward the heavens, which is now smoked off, but a terrible smoke. Thankfully, it's USP against armor, because otherwise that would be hugely problematic. It might still be as Scream gets tagged up. He's down to 7 HP. Michaelele is only on 18, no less, but it's a bomb plant for G2 and a kill from Shocks to Get Right. Exist has got an AK in all of this after rotating back through middle, but Forrest, he's got the kill. Shocks has been pushed out. He's been sprayed at, and finally Smith will take down Michaelele, but that push out, and now the AK getting a kill, they can actually put some pressure on G2 and start to pull some guns away from them.
If they can keep Smiths on the site, especially with the bomb ticking away, Exist knows he's there. If they can take the AWP out of his hand, that certainly helps just take economy away. But when you have match point, it's not a huge deal really, but still 15-6, and Forrest looking for an exit here. Exist saves the AK. That just helps distribute the wealth going into the next round, and Forrest seeing if he can get anything out of this. Looks like he'll go down with the bomb and he'll start running away now. Gets out of there, but there it is. 15-7, G2. Not the cleanest amount of ecos. Michael could have actually picked up that kill on the bomb site. But here we go then. This is when the challenge really begins for G2. Round by round. Need to grind this one out. NiP just need one. It's Michaelele on the AWP this time, the CT half. 4 rifles surrounding him, of course. They've got a 4x, the incendiaries, the smokes. I'll be interested to see where Michael decides to go. We know he does have that flashy potential. Goes towards middle for now.
There is value, though, as I mentioned, in G2, dragging this affair on as long as possible because it slows down that overconfidence. Well, I wouldn't say overconfidence, but that confidence that NiP has, that momentum that's in them. If they had just closed this out immediately, they would have been so hyped, walked out of the booths, been ready to go for the next game. Now you can kind of see the expressions. They just have to sit and wait, and it kind of takes a little bit of the sting off for G2, but also the poison out of NiP's sting in general.
Obviously, it's going to help them like kind of warm up as well, get into the swing of things properly in the grand final. Can be some nerves there going into these ones, but Freiburg finds the first kill. Scream answers straight away though, 4 on 4. Exist doing what he can with the AK. Apparently he finds 2 kills out of nowhere. This could be it, 4 on 2, and Body, he goes down as well. Exist going absolutely ham right now. Just RPK left in a 4 on 1.
And he's going to be found by Get Right. It's going to be an IP. They do close it out while G2's still stuck on single digits. 16-7, a convincing cash. game from them, and we know why they picked it. Like we said, Pro League, they've played it, I think, 6 times already this year, and they've won every one of them. So very impressive stuff.
Well, there it is. Not the most hype grand final map to kick it off, apparently, but still amazing performance from NiP. They've sent a message out now to G2. They're not here to mess around. You can see they're still elated by this one. A huge scoreline there, 12-3 to kick it off in the first half, and they nail it in the second as well. Losing the pistol, G2 got slightly back into it, but still, you can't really argue with that sort of performance. We move on to Overpass, Matthew. And that's where NiP have been performing exceptionally well recently.
And that's where Maikelele has been performing exceptionally well. We said Cobblestone Shock's playground, I think, as much in this tournament. Maikelele might have something going on in the park of Overpass because he is a kid in a sandbox, I think, on that map for all intents and purposes. Look, I don't think there's much more for us to say. It was very fast, assertive. We expected a little more out of Checker Room. They expected it more on the panel. They didn't get it, G2. And with that, we're going to go to a break and see exactly if it's anything at all close to what Yanko and the rest had in mind when they talked about the strategy.
Gaming Bets, online betting for every esports fan. Dota 2 and Hearthstone, CSGO and Overwatch, StarCraft 2, the choice is yours. Express bets for multiple matches or live bets on the game you are watching right now. Know your way around Dota 2, make a prediction for picks and bans. Playing CSGO, guess the number of rounds in a certain match. Daily quests for all participants and all the best choice of payment systems. More than 600,000 users have already made their bets on the spectacular matches since 2011. EGB.com. You know for sure who's gonna win.
Getting tired of playing with the usual skins, but don't have enough money to buy a new one? Get rich fast with CSGoFast.com. CSGoFast. It's a strong chance of winning in every game. Several rooms with different game modes. Daily, more than 1,000 games, 5,000 players, and 25,000 skins at stake. You don't need much in order to sweep the board.
Dota 2 and Hearthstone, CSGO and StarCraft 2, the largest contests in the history of esports among the national teams. World Electronic Sports Games, the World Championship with a total prize pool of $4.5 million US. Registration for Europe and CIS regions is open. The finals will be held from October 6 to 9 in Kiev, Ukraine. Win your slot in the finals of the World Championship. Register right now.
So, first blood goes the way of the Swedes. NiP in dominant fashion on game number 1 on Cash. A brilliant performance by the Swedes, of course. We'll break it down with our expert panelists right now. Yanko, Vendetta, and Natu back with us. Yanko, what are your thoughts on that one?
I think that NiP continued in the same fashion that they played the semifinals against Cloud9. Completely outplayed G2 in that first half. Great performances across the board. Everyone had good rounds here and there, so it's when NiP is at its strongest.
Vendetta, you said that you would like to see them mix things up a little bit, but really need to, did they? No, it was so strong.
Wasn't really any need to, and that was kind of surprising, the fact that G2 didn't have a better answer for a lot of the B aggression that the NiP are known. You know, they're famous for this checker control, so it's weird to see that G2 didn't have that much of an answer for it. And you know, it's oftentimes talked about like what's the best solution to work around this issue when they're setting up like that, because obviously it's well thought through. So they have, you know, backup plan, and they have their utility to actually clear out certain corners and whatnot. I think G2 made a big mistake. Oftentimes you see Body kind of just vacate the bomb site entirely and try to move up towards Heaven or back into spawn, where he's easily going to be isolated and leave RPK in a situation where it's going to be too much to handle for him when NiP decided to commit to the site. So that was a bit of a disappointment coming in from G2. You'd